Lesson 1, Cooking Experiments.
Anna, I wanted to ask you about that recipe you tried last night.
Oh, the one with the extra spices? It turned out great, actually.
Really? I'm impressed. What kind of spices did you end up adding?
Well, I threw in a bit more cumin and chili powder to give it some extra kick.
Nice, that must have added a nice depth of flavor. How was the overall dish?
It was delicious. The extra spices really complemented the other ingredients well.
Awesome, I'll have to give that a try myself sometime. Cooking experiments can be so fun.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to put your own spin on recipes, you never know what might turn out great.
Good advice. I'll keep that in mind the next time I'm in the kitchen.
Lesson 2, Staffing Requirements.
Hey Anna, what's your take on the staffing requirements for our new project?
Morning, John. I think we'll need a core team of around 5 people to start.
Okay, that's good to know. What kind of roles and skill sets are you envisioning?
Well, we'll definitely need a project manager to oversee everything.
Right, and what about technical expertise? I'm thinking we'll need developers and designers.
Exactly, at least 2 developers with experience in the relevant tech stack.
Got it. And how about business analysis and client-facing roles?
Good point. We should also have someone focused on requirements gathering and stakeholder management.
Makes sense. Alright, let's start putting together job descriptions and kick off the hiring process.
Lesson 3, Interests and Preferences.
Hello Anna, I was wondering, what are your thoughts on our target customers' interests and preferences?
Hey John. From my research, it seems they really enjoy reading books and other literary pursuits.
I see, that's good to know. Any other insights into their hobbies and pastimes?
Yes, they also seem to appreciate the arts, like going to museums and concerts.
Interesting. And what about their travel habits? Do they tend to prefer certain types of getaways?
Good question. It looks like they're drawn to nature-based destinations, like hiking and camping trips.
I see, the outdoorsy type. That gives us some good ideas for marketing and product positioning.
Definitely. We'll want to highlight those nature-focused experiences in our offerings.
Absolutely. This customer profile data is really helpful, thanks for putting that together.
Lesson 4, Getaway Destinations.
Hey Anna, have you given any thought to potential getaway destinations for our next company retreat?
Morning, John. Yes, I have. I was thinking the beach could be a nice option.
The beach, huh? That does sound like a relaxing change of pace.
Exactly, I envision us having some team-building activities during the day, then unwinding in the evenings.
Good call. Any particular beach destinations in mind that you'd recommend?
Well, I've heard great things about the beaches in Bali. The scenery is gorgeous, and the climate is perfect.
Bali, huh? That could be a really unique and memorable experience for the team.
Definitely. Plus, the cost of accommodations and activities there is quite reasonable.
Alright, let's start looking into the logistics of planning a Bali retreat then. This could be really fun.
Lesson 5, Emerging Markets in Southeast Asia.
Hey Anna, have you been following the growth in emerging markets in Southeast Asia?
Morning, John. Yes, I have. The economies in that region have been really dynamic lately.
Absolutely. Countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, and Malaysia are seeing impressive GDP growth.
That's right. And with large, young populations, the consumer market is expanding rapidly too.
Definitely, lots of untapped potential there. We should consider expanding our business presence in the region.
Agreed. I think we need to do some more research on the specific opportunities and challenges.
Good point. We'll want to analyze the competitive landscape and regulatory environment carefully.
Exactly. I'll put together a report on the key markets and we can discuss further.
Sounds like a plan. I'm excited to explore this further. The upside seems very promising.
Lesson 6: Deforestation Concerns.
Anna, I've been reading a lot about global deforestation lately. It's really concerning.
Yes, it's a serious issue. There are only a few regions left with vast, untouched forests.
Exactly. The Amazon basin and parts of Southeast Asia seem to be the last strongholds.
That's right. Rapid development and unsustainable logging practices are destroying these ecosystems.
It's heartbreaking to see. We need to do more to protect these critical natural resources.
Absolutely. Conservation efforts and better forest management policies are crucial.
Definitely. I think raising awareness is also key, getting more people engaged in the cause.
Good point. We should look into supporting some environmental organizations working on this.
Definitely, I'm happy to make a donation. This is an issue I really care about.
Lesson 7: Home Comforts.
Hey Anna, I was wondering, what are some of your favorite things about being at home?
Ooh, good question. I really enjoy the coziness of our living room. It's such a nice space to relax.
I agree, that's a great spot. And what about the kitchen? Do you spend much time in there?
Absolutely, the kitchen is another favorite. I love experimenting with new recipes on the stove.
Ah, yes, and having a fully stocked fridge is always a plus, right?
Exactly. It's so convenient to have all the ingredients I need right at my fingertips.
For sure. Home really is where the heart is. It's hard to beat the comforts of our own space.
Totally. There's just something special about being in a familiar, comfortable environment.
I couldn't agree more. It's the little things that make a house feel like a true home.
Lesson 8: Movie Recommendations.
Hey Anna, have you seen any good movies lately that you'd recommend?
As a matter of fact, I did catch a really nice romantic comedy the other day.
Oh nice, what was it called? I'm always on the lookout for a good rom-com.
It was called A Chance Encounter. The chemistry between the two leads was great.
Ah cool, that sounds right up my alley. What did you like most about the film?
I thought the witty banter and heartwarming moments made it really enjoyable.
That's awesome, I'll have to check it out. Anything else you've seen recently?
Let me think. Oh, I also watched a fascinating documentary about urban design.
Interesting, what was that one about?
Lesson 9: Culinary Innovations.
Anna, I heard you've been experimenting with some new cooking techniques. What have you been up to?
Yes, I've been trying out some innovative recipes using non-traditional ingredients. Like using sweet potatoes to make healthier fries.
Sweet potato fries, huh? That sounds really interesting. How did they turn out?
They were delicious. The natural sweetness of the sweet potatoes worked so well.
Nice, I'll have to give that a try myself. Any other creative dishes you've been whipping up?
Well, I also made some nut-based spreads and dips, using things like peanuts and almonds.
Nut-based spreads, cool. That's a great way to add nutritional value.
Exactly. It's been fun experimenting and coming up with new flavor combinations.
I'm impressed. You've really been expanding your culinary horizons.
Lesson 10, Restaurant Specials.
Hey Anna, I was wondering if you've tried any new restaurants lately with interesting menu offerings?
As a matter of fact, I did visit a place with some intriguing exotic cuisine specials.
Oh, do tell. What kind of dishes did they have?
Well, they had things like curried jackfruit and plantain fritters, quite unique.
Wow, that does sound exotic. How were the flavors?
They were absolutely delightful. The spices and textures worked so well together.
Nice, that's good to hear. Any other standout menu items you'd recommend?
Let me think. Oh, they also had a really tasty lentil and quinoa salad that was quite refreshing.
Excellent, I'll have to check that place out. Thanks for the great recommendations.
Lesson 11, Navigating New Places.
Hey Anna, I've got a trip coming up and I'm trying to learn some useful phrases to get around.
That's smart. Knowing a few key expressions can really help when you're in an unfamiliar place.
Exactly. Like, what would be a good way to ask for directions if I get lost?
Maybe something like, "Excuse me, could you please tell me how to get to the location?"
Ah, yes, that sounds polite and clear. And what about ordering food if I don't know the language?
You could try, "I'd like to order, dish, please," or, "What do you recommend from the menu?"
Great, those seem really practical. Any other tips for navigating a new environment?
Well, learning to say, "Thank you," is always useful. And being able to ask, "Do you speak English?" can be helpful too.
Awesome, I'll make sure to memorize those. Having a few go-to phrases will make things much easier.
Lesson 12, Setting Goals.
Anna, I've been thinking a lot about setting some new goals for myself lately.
That's great. Having something to work towards can be really motivating.
Absolutely. But I'm curious, how do you go about determining what your goals should be?
Well, I try to think about what's most important to me and what I'd really like to achieve.
That makes sense. And do you set both short-term and long-term goals?
Definitely. The short-term ones help me stay on track, while the bigger picture goals give me direction.
I see, that's a smart approach. How do you make sure you stay motivated to reach those goals?
I find it helpful to break them down into smaller, manageable steps. And rewarding myself along the way is key.
Excellent tips, I'll have to apply that to my own goal-setting process.
Lesson 13, Museum Meetup.
Hey Anna, I had an idea, would you be up for meeting at the museum this weekend?
The museum? That sounds like a wonderful idea. What time works best for you?
How about around 10 in the morning? That should give us plenty of time to explore.
10 a.m. at the museum, got it. I'm really looking forward to it, it's been a while since I've been there.
Same here. It'll be nice to check out the new exhibits they've been raving about.
Definitely. And we can grab a bite to eat afterwards too, make a whole day of it.
Sounds perfect. I'll make sure to arrive a few minutes early so we can meet up easily.
Sounds good, I'll do the same. Can't wait to spend the day exploring the museum with you. Lesson 14, Library Resources.
Hey Anna, I've been meaning to ask, do you utilize the local library much?
Yes, absolutely. The library is such a valuable resource in our community.
That's great to hear. What kinds of things do you typically find there?
Well, obviously they have a huge selection of books, both physical and digital.
Right, that's the obvious one. But do they offer any other services?
Oh yes, the library also has things like CDs, DVDs, and even some computer access.
Ah, I see, that's really convenient. And do you need a library card to borrow materials?
Definitely, a library card is essential. Luckily, they're free and easy to sign up for.
Awesome, I'll have to look into getting one myself. The library sounds like a great place to explore.
Lesson 15, Neighborhood Strolls.
Anna, I was wondering, do you ever just go for casual walks around the neighborhood?
Yes, I love taking leisurely strolls around the area, it's so peaceful and refreshing.
That's great. How long does it typically take you to walk to different places nearby?
Well, the school is only about 10 minutes away on foot, which is super convenient.
Ah, I see. And do you have any friends or family who live close by as well?
Yes, a few of my friends actually live just down the street, so I can easily visit them.
That's awesome, having that sense of community right in your own neighborhood.
Definitely, it's one of the things I really enjoy about living here. The walks are just the icing on the cake.
I can see why, it sounds like a lovely area. I'll have to join you on one of those strolls sometime.
Lesson 16, Restaurant Operations.
Morning, Anna. I've been curious about the operations of our local restaurant. Do you happen to know their hours of operation?
Certainly, the restaurant is open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. They have a full menu available throughout the day.
That's really good to know. And what about the staff? How many people typically work there?
From what I understand, they have a team of around 15 to 20 employees, covering everything from the kitchen to the front of house.
Wow, that's quite a sizable staff to keep things running smoothly. Do you know if they serve any special dishes or have unique menu items?
Yes, they're known for their homemade pasta dishes and their selection of regional wines. The chef is always experimenting with new, creative recipes.
That sounds delightful. I'll have to make a reservation and try it out for myself sometime soon.
I think you'll really enjoy it. The atmosphere is cozy and the service is excellent. Lesson 17, Budgeting Basics.
Hey Anna, I've been trying to get better at managing my finances. Do you have any tips for sticking to a daily budget?
Absolutely, budgeting is so important. The key is to track your spending and identify areas where you can cut back.
That makes sense. Do you have any specific strategies you use to stay on top of your budget?
Well, I find it helpful to categorize my expenses, like housing, food, transportation, and entertainment.
Categorizing, got it. And do you use any apps or tools to help you monitor your spending?
Yes, there are lots of great budgeting apps out there that can really streamline the process.
That's good to know. Maintaining a budget can seem daunting, but having the right tools makes it much easier.
Definitely. It takes some discipline, but staying on top of your finances pays off in the long run. Lesson 18, Manufacturing Fundamentals.
Anna, I've been learning about the different stages of the manufacturing process. Can you tell me more about the typical steps involved?
Sure, the key stages usually include product design, procuring raw materials and parts, inventory management, and the actual production.
Ah, I see. And how does the inventory piece fit into the overall operation?
Effective inventory control is crucial. You want to make sure you have the right supplies on hand to meet production demands.
That makes sense. And what about things like purchasing the raw materials and managing the supply chain?
Those are critical as well. You need reliable suppliers and a smooth logistics process to keep the manufacturing running smoothly.
Absolutely, it's a complex web of different moving parts. Learning about the full life cycle has been really eye-opening.
I'm glad you're finding it interesting. Manufacturing is such an important part of our economy. Lesson 19, Appreciating Nature.
Anna, I was just talking to a friend about how much I've grown to appreciate nature and the animals that live in it.
Yes, the natural world is truly remarkable, isn't it? There's so much to learn and respect.
Definitely. I've really come to admire the way the animals thrive in their habitats.
Me too. It's amazing to see how they've adapted to their environments over time.
Absolutely. And I think it's so important that we work to protect those habitats and allow the animals to continue to flourish.
I couldn't agree more. The more we can learn about and appreciate the natural world, the better we can care for it.
Well said. I'm grateful to have had the chance to learn more about the animals and their homes.
Same here. It's such a valuable and humbling perspective. Lesson 20, Navigating Challenging Situations.
Anna, I wanted to get your take on how to handle sensitive situations with grace and empathy.
That's an important topic. When faced with challenges, it's crucial to approach them with compassion.
Absolutely. Can you give me an example of how you might respond in a delicate scenario?
Well, let's say you encounter someone who seems distressed or in a difficult circumstance. The best approach is to be kind and non-judgmental.
That makes sense. And what about if it's a situation where there may be some tension or conflict involved?
In those cases, it's important to listen carefully, speak calmly, and try to understand the other person's perspective.
That's great advice. Maintaining composure and open communication is key.
Exactly. With patience and empathy, you're more likely to find a constructive resolution.
I appreciate you sharing those insights. Navigating tricky situations is an essential life skill.